I'm just going to grab a drink. 2 secs.
You just had a drink.
You're like a sponge, Tom.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, that's all that hair.
Yeah. So much hair.
I am a sponge.
Oh.
I've never had to dry myself, ever.
What?
Yeah. Whenever Anna hugs me, it's just liquid everywhere of all sorts.
Right.
Squeeze.
I'm not sure how I feel about that.
I don't know how I feel about it.
I feel like you're still children in my... Well, no, you're not, but you are. You're still children in my eyes.
We're babies.
It's all right. It's
mixed
just
together
iced
as
tea
well.
coming out of his skin.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's all like murky because it's all mixed together.
Oh, that made it worse.
So it's like a cloudy iced tea. Anyway.
I remember buying an iced tea once. I remember buying an iced tea from a corner shop once, and I drank half of it. And by the time I got to the end of the road, I noticed there was something like swimming in my iced tea, like a black bug of some sort swimming in the iced tea. I remember that to this day, and I'm always wary about buying iced tea now.
I picture him in a little like in a little like Lilo or rubber ring, like a pina colada, like
or with
this is
another
the
tiny
life.
bottle of iced tea, like. Huh?
And in his iced tea, there's like it would be like bacteria, but because he's so small, he can see it.
Oh wow! Do you think flies can see bacteria?
This is a thought I've had, but
I'm
always a bit wary to share my thoughts on it in case I sound like an absolute.
In case you offend the fly community.
Yeah.
Oh wow! We shouldn't be doing that sort of thing right now.
No.
God.
But I would
Set another protest.
I would assume that the smaller you are, the smaller things you can see, right?
Well, I guess so.
And they've got like their eyes are most of their face and their head.
Yeah, they've got quite
It's
a lot
like
of
all
eyes.
round.
So, would a speck of dust to a fly look like a small stone?
Yeah. Who knows? I was thinking about this the other day because I, when it was raining,
Ran out of other
and I was
things
like,
to think about.
During this time.
Well, funny you should mention it because I had this exact thought last week.
Wow.
When it was raining, I was like, this must be like the worst if you're an ant or like a fly because it's just the raindrops are so big.
But would it not just be
tsunami.
like water balloons, water bombs?
Yeah, maybe.
Although they're proper strong, like they can hold
Ants, yeah,
hundreds
that's-
of
yeah, that's
millions of
true.
times their weight or something. I don't know. Not that.
I don't know if it's hundreds of millions. That seems a bit extreme.
It's
They
almost
can literally
It's,
An
near
ant
lift a
moves
car.
the earth. What?
I'm no ant scientist, but I'm pretty sure I'm close. Okay.
That's why the Earth spins because there's a big ant
Just
spinning
running.
it round. Yeah, she's on a treadmill.
Yeah.
He has been since the dawn of time.
And funnily enough, the ant's name is Dawn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and when that ant dies, we're all fucked.
This little ant
We're all
called Dawn,
gonna
like,
die.
oh hello, just making the world spin. Keep going.
Mister-
Don't mind me. Carry on.
Meanwhile, all the other ants are like, "Yeah, that's it, Dawn. Keep running."
Okay, everyone.
Then, like, she lost her mind years ago. She thinks she's a wasp. And Dawn's like, "Buzz, buzz, everyone!"
Oh, wow.
Fucking loser.
Do you think her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Of Time? And so she is Dawn of Time.
Oh my God. I really hope this theory's true. That would just make life so much better.
I like the idea that her middle name is like something that interrupts that dawn of time, though.
Yeah.
It's like her middle name is like of the dead, so she's like Dawn of the Dead of Time.
Of the planets of the Earth. Should we officially start?
Should we do an official
Should
start?
we
Yeah.
officially start?
I will be quiet
This
until you...
is our official.
start. Officially, this
The-
is the start.
What I'll do is
Please, everyone, take your seats.
what I'll do is I'll leave in all that bit of us saying like,
Shall we
shall we officially start now? So
That's it. Done.
yeah.
Sorted.
Well, hello,
Hi everyone.
children of the corn.
Hello.
Welcome to what is the meaning of the
The
wit?
wit-
Wit is the whatting meaning of the
We're so good at
of
this
this
already.
podcast.
We
Amazing.
are professionals.
As you already know, because you've already heard the intro, we've got a guest.
Woohoo! We've convinced
Wahoo!
someone to talk to us.
Open brackets, this is where John speaks. Close brackets.
You're not meant to speak those, John.
We're slowly collating our list of people that will talk to us.
So far, John. Oh, good.
John.
Aren't you lucky? No. Wow.
How are you, John?
I'm cold. Not actually. I'm really warm. Standing in a box. I'm actually standing in the booth that I use for voiceovers. Which is why it sounds so amazing.
He's got a booth.
I've got a booth.
He's got an actual booth.
This is what the booth sounds like with the curtain closed. And then if I open it up, I don't know if it makes a bit of difference.
Oh, it does.
It's a bit echoey. And then I pull the curtain back around.
Bit.
And then I'm soundproofed again.
It's so good that our first guest
You're
sounds so much better than us.
I was going to say, like, the one downside to having you, John, is that you immediately sound so much higher quality.
We sound
than us.
crap.
I'm sorry.
We sound so good.
That's how a lot of my producers sound, funnily enough.
Could you do that again, please? But could you do it louder but quieter at the same time?
Yeah, I'll do that for you. Yeah.
I wonder how many people would listen to us if we sounded like this all the time. Like this was our first. Like, hello, welcome to the WITMOT podcast. Today on
anyone listening in their car, I'm really sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Or on headphones, for that matter.
I mean, yeah. Just turn your volume right down.
Oh yeah, earphones. What? Wait, what happened to Tom and Anna? They actually did go very quiet.
Oh,
they did a little
probably-
bit straight after.
My mic's probably gone like, nope,
What are you doing?
nope.
You broke the microphone.
I think you're right now.
We
Is it
good.
better?
There you go.
I
There
think
you
it's
are.
recovered.
Hello.
It's healed.
Yeah, don't shout into your microphone.
Kids.
There's rule
Remember.
number 1: don't shout in your
Well,
microphone.
I didn't shout in the microphone.
Well, that's true.
Well, it's not your microphone, so
No,
it
but
wouldn't
we're
make a difference.
sharing.
So technically, if you shouted into my microphone, then it wouldn't. That's how you get around it. You just shout into other people's microphones.
Kids, I will turn this
no,
podcast
Jake,
around.
no.
I will turn this microphone around, and then
I
none
will.
of you will be able to hear us.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
Well, the reason John sounds so good is because he does this sort of stuff for a living. Don't you, John?
Yes. For my sins. That's
Yes.
what I do. I mean, not so much at the moment because global pandemic is taking
As
over.
such, yes.
Have you not had a lot of work then?
It's really, really gone quiet. I'm still doing some work and enough to keep the wolf from the door, but luckily the wolf is Chihuahua sized, so it doesn't need to be that much to keep him at bay. But I've done I'm like quoting for TV commercials and the occasional radio commercial and stuff. So if I get this, I quoted for one today, and if I get that, then I don't have to work for the rest of the month. So that would be good.
Oh,
Well,
Amazing.
That's that. Yeah. It's so good.
I suppose it is good to be able to do it from home so easily as well.
Yes, yeah, and I've had this studio in 11 different places, probably 6 different places, but traveled this studio around with me. It's a little box that I built, and I take it down when I move home, and then I re-erect it, and I just wanted to say erect, basically. But just set it up again, so it
We
sounds
didn't
the
laugh.
same wherever I
We
am.
tried so hard not to laugh.
Yeah, we're all childish at heart. I saw a Facebook memory came up today because we were obviously voting a few years ago, and I said, I just know I'm going to be up all night with an election.
Brilliant.
See, I couldn't
That's the
vote this
title.
year because I had electile dysfunction.
Oh no!
Stop it.
Oh, I looked at that ballot paper and it just happened. I'm sorry.
I was trying to think of like premature elect.
Yeah,
it doesn't work.
ejaculation doesn't make
Doesn't
it
work.
to election.
No.
So, John, how
Yeah,
long
hello.
have you been a Mr. Voice Actor?
I did my very first Mr. Voice Actor job in 2000. My very first paid voice actor job in 2008.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, 2008. July 2008, and it was for a radio station in Spain. I can't remember the name of it.
Obviously.
and it was for a water park or something like that. And I'm nearly 40 years old, but I still get all the college ads. Come down to Newbury College today and because I sound really,
Yeah.
but so yeah, it was back then even higher pitched, and it was for a splash park, and I was like, this is amazing. I was talking to the producer for a whole 5 minutes, and I made, I think it was £19.20.
Oh,
Wow! 5 minutes work, and I've just made 20 quid. That's crazy. And then later that same month, I did another job with them. I was like, I've just made £40 for talking to someone. This is incredible. And then it slowly just built and built and built. And then, started making thousands of pounds in an hour session. And I'll be like, oh, okay, this is a good job. Oh, I'll stick with this then. And I started voiceovering whilst working for a company, and I may have used their time and equipment to help me along my journey. But I mean, it's in the past, and they know now.
It's fine.
So
Can't prove
in 2012, I think it was 2012, I was made redundant from that place because they were offering redundancies, and I had been pushing my voiceover career, and they went, who would like to be made redundant? I put my hand up, took the money, and then went full-time VO. And since 2012, it's been my only profession, my only means of income. So,
wow,
amazing.
Whatever that is. 8 years. 8 years. Whew. But 12 years in total. That's crazy.
12 years.
Yeah.
Holy
12 years getting
Benolis.
paid. Yeah.
Holy Bannolis indeed.
Yes.
So has
That's all I know.
voice acting in general or voiceover work been a passion of yours for your whole life, or did it just come into you?
I didn't even realise I wanted to do it. I loved being on stage from like 16. Wow. Let's go back a little bit further.
Rewind.
I watched Jurassic Park with Sam Neill. Sam Neill is my acting hero, and I was like, oh, I really just want to do that for something to do. And so did theatre at school and got a few good parts at school, and then left the theatre world until I was 19, and then joined a theatre society and got the lead in a pantomime, and I was like, oh, okay, this is good. So I kind of always wanted to do something in performing. I just didn't know what. And then I joined this. I got a job at a radio station as just customer services, just answering the phone and talking to people. And they noticed that I was loud and obnoxious, so they gave me a slot on a radio show on a Saturday morning at 4 o'clock. Oh, those were the days. Getting up at 3 o'clock and doing a 4-hour show at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my God.
Good times. Like a co-presenter. So I didn't drive the desk or anything. I was just like the background noise. And then from there,
what sort of audience do you have to attract for a 3 a.m. show?
Well,
4 a.m.
it was a national retail radio station. So it was all the staff that worked in convenience stores across the country. So there were I think they had like 200,000 listeners a day.
Wow.
Which doesn't sound like a lot, but it was quite a few. And that's just staff members. And then you obviously had footfall traffic coming through the doors. So you could have been broadcasting to millions of people, and you wouldn't know. But so I did that for a while, and then they offered me a copywriting gig. So I was writing the commercials for those stations because I'd been around it for a while, and I could sense what needed to be on air. And from there, they were like, would you like to have a go at making these? You sound like you enjoy that. So I kind of taught myself to become a audio producer. And then from there, I was speaking to voiceovers all day. And where I'd written the scripts and then I was making the sounds, I knew what I wanted. So I'd ask voiceovers to deliver it the way I had it in my head. And through that, I'd kind of learned the craft of voiceovering, and then a few of them were like, you should give this a go. You sound like you've got the right personality for it, and here's a few clients, go and email them a demo and see what happens. And that's kind of what happened. So I didn't know I wanted to do voiceovers, but it's kind of the best accident that ever happened.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely. It was just the really right fit that you knew how to make them and knew how you knew what you wanted to kind of direct there, but you just...
Right place, right time. That's,
Exactly.
Yeah, so your number 5 then, I guess, that you sent through is Seth MacFarlane in Family Guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just because the versatility in his voice. I do feel a little bit bad because I've noticed that all of my favourite performances are male. But that's not to take anything away from
Neither here nor there.
females. It's just because I feel like if I wanted to be anything, I'd want to be these people.
Yeah.
You know, and I can do male voices. I can't do female voices, so that's why I've gone down this route. But geez, Seth MacFarlane, just the range and the speed at which that guy can switch between voices.
He's such a talented guy.
Yeah, and I've done a few things on stage where I've had to change and do 2 different characters in quick succession, and it drains you.
Yeah.
And how he can do it, episode after episode after episode, is just inspirational.
As well as like producing and writing, and also like having
not
part
just
in the animation as well.
Yeah. But not just not just that one show. He does billions of different things.
Yeah.
American Dad, Ted, the Ted franchise. You know, A Million Ways to Die in the West. I know they've been done, but the Orville. Oh, I love the Orville.
The Orville's great.
Oh,
yeah.
There's a season 2 coming as well. No, season 3.
Season
3.
One of my favourite Family Guy episodes is the one where they're locked in the safety deposit box room.
In the
Stewie
bank.
and Brian.
Yes.
And it's just Stewie and Brian, so it's just Seth MacFarlane carrying this whole episode and having kind of these emotional stories about 2 characters that just he voices. So it's such an amazing episode that he performs in. Like, yeah.
It's just inspirational.
Really well. There's a great meme that I saw that was something along the lines of no one sounds better than Seth MacFarlane harmonising with himself or something like that.
Yes.
He sounds so good.
Yeah.
Oh. He can be anywhere. I've seen interviews with him, and he can just at any time just switch into any of the voices.
He's incredible.
Which is just a
skill.
Like it is difficult to do.
Is there a particular voice that he does that you like the most? Is there a character that you like the best?
No, there isn't. It's more just his ability that impresses me, and the skill that he has.
One thing I found really interesting actually is that there's an episode where Stewie goes to therapy. And in that episode, he admits that his British accent is all like a front.
Yes.
He puts it on. And then he does Stewie's actual voice, which is Stewie, but American. And it's so weird. And
yes.
It's like, how do you do a voice for so long and then tweak it ever so slightly?
To make it sound the same, like pitch and tonally, but just accent-wise,
And still equally believable as well, and that you think, oh, of course, like this must be his real voice. Like, how did I not realise this?
Yeah,
I guess Family Guy is kind of like
impressive.
Seth MacFarlane as the creator is much like, I guess, The Simpsons and any other kind of low budget startup animation where the creator has to do all the voices because he can't afford because they can't afford to hire anyone else.
But it's like
when it gets successful,
Matt Stone and Trey Parker. It's Matt Stone
they do
and
so
Trey
many.
Parker doing it. Yeah. Although they're not quite as versatile, but they don't care that they're not.
Yeah.
All of their characters sound the same, but they don't care, and that's a great thing too.
Cool. So that was John's number 5. Your number 4. We were talking about this just before we started recording. Actually, was Mark Silk.
Yeah.
Do you
know who Mark Silk
Who
is?
is he?
Kind of now.
Do explain.
Mark
I
Silk.
have no idea.
He's actually a friend of mine.
No way.
Not like a great friend, but like we've been in the room a few times together and had conversations. I've done sessions with Mark back when I was a producer. He's done the voice of Johnny Bravo. He's also the voice of Bob the Builder, or was the voice of Bob the Builder in America. He has been in Star Wars as some of the characters. The man is just... He's like the British Seth MacFarlane. He's so talented, but also one of the nicest guys you'd ever meet. He jokes about, he'll have a laugh with you. He's not above his station. You know, he will talk to you if you have done one voiceover, and he'll talk to you if you're Peter Dixon. You know, he's just the nicest guy, but he's so good at his craft. He's brilliant. He can switch from sounding like a cool guy to sounding like the dweebiest guy to sounding like an old guy to sounding like a young guy. He's amazing.
Wow. Johnny Bravo is the coolest guy there is, I think, in voice acting.
Yeah, and I'm pretty certain he's the UK voice of Johnny Bravo.
Wow.
But he does loads.
That's awesome.
He's really good. And yeah, like I say, just a really nice guy. You can go on my Facebook and see that I actually do know him. Yeah, I know a celebrity.
I can't believe it.
Where's your link?
It's funny you should mention Seth MacFarlane, because I went and watched like a YouTube. It might have been his show reel actually on YouTube, and one of the comments said he's like the British Tom Kenny, who does like SpongeBob and God knows however much stuff.
About Seth MacFarlane?
No, about Mark Silk.
You said something.
Did I?
Yeah,
I meant Mark.
I got really confused.
Yeah, me too.
Silk.
Oh,
Sorry.
yes. Yeah.
It might have been his show reel. I don't know. I've never really don't know that much about Seth MacFarlane.
No.
But yeah, no. I thought it was a good comparison. So it's funny that you.
So when you have worked with him, John, or what has he done? What have you done together?
Well, so back when I was a producer, I wrote commercials that I saw his voice or heard his voice on before he voiced them. So then I'd direct him and say, can you please be the voice on this? I'd like it to sound like this. Sessions with him were just really fun.
Aww.
You'd have a laugh the entire time. He plays sound effects. He is the biggest radio anorak going, and he has desks and sound effects plugged into those desks, so he can be halfway through delivering a really poignant script and he'll just press like a fart sound effect or something. and you just don't expect it and just burst out laughing and have to then talk through that to get it out of your system before going back into the recording. He's funny. He's so funny, and it's just really nice. He's just a nice guy.
Was he an influence kind of?
Yes. Yeah. So I've got another friend called Guy Harris, who used to be a radio presenter around here. I knew Guy when he started getting into voicing, and he would say that he always thought he'd sort of chase the heels of Mark Silk, because Guy's a really talented character actor, and he said, I just want to be like Mark Silk. And when I started, I said that I wanted to be like Guy, and so I guess, you know, almost by proxy, I'm sort of trying to be like Mark, because Guy's trying to be like Mark. But a lot of people say when they book me for character stuff that, you know, you do this just as well as Mark does this, or just as well as Guy, you know, or sometimes I do, well, you do that much better than this person. I'm so glad I went with you rather than going with who the industry would think is the top. You know? So it's nice to be recognised as one of the good radio commercial character actors.
Definitely.
Alongside
is there a kind of I guess a stereotype as to what is expected of a voice actor in the industry, especially when you're at the very top levels?
Yes. Yeah, there is. If you make a million mistakes in a session, the chances are producers aren't going to come back to you because they don't want their job to be a massive edit. They want to be. Of course, they want to edit a little bit, take out breaths, and have one clean version that they can use that's a decent one. But if you're stopping every 2 seconds to re-say a word, then you're making more work for them. That's the hardest part of being a voiceover is getting it right.
Definitely.
But also, a lot of it is maintaining relationships with producers, and you know, you get to know these people, and you ask how their partners are doing and what their hobbies are, and so you can talk about that, because you kind of want to be their friend as well as someone that they hire, so that they come back and use you again, because they know that they're going to get a good chat out of you for 10 minutes before you do the work. So
and a good time and
exactly.
Fun.
Yeah, and I try to do that with. I've got some very good relationships with some producers, and sometimes I can do one script in a session and it'll take an hour because we spend 45 minutes just talking.
Yeah.
You know, so
Wow.
that's what a lot of it is.
Yeah. Well, when you're voice acting, you're projecting your personality and
Yeah.
because you've got no other means to do it, so you might as well have fun and be your personality before and after.
Exactly, yeah, and it really does help.
Yeah.
So,
awesome.
Yeah, there you go.
Next on your list, we've got Robin Williams in
Yes.
Aladdin.
I mean, how can you not mention Robin Williams?
What a classic.
Definitely.
He was just so incredible. Like, one of the very first things that I think of when I think of Robin Williams is the start of Mrs. Doubtfire. When he's standing in a booth and he's just doing that voiceover whilst watching the animation on screen. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, vaguely.
Yeah. And just that's Robin Williams being paid to be Robin Williams.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just I would love to be that and be known for that.
I'd love to have seen him in a booth doing watching him do the voice any voice, but especially the genie and just the way he is as the genie would be amazing.
Well, it's like Genie was basically, they were like, how do we get Robin Williams in a the actual Robin Williams in a Disney movie, and that was the perfect outlet for it.
And Aladdin, the genie was kind of the first huge sidekick, eccentric voice animated character.
But
we had
almost
kind of Danny DeVito and Hercules. And,
but the genie almost. I feel like the genie is Aladdin, and not the person Aladdin, obviously, but the film Aladdin is all about the genie. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's about Aladdin and how he's trying to get the woman of his dreams, but actually, you just care about the genie. You just want to know what the genie's doing.
And I think with that performance as well, the fact that it's animated. They did it so well to complement it. It's essentially it's so over the top they could do anything, and I feel like they matched it at a really good level.
Oh, absolutely.
But he is incredible, and I think he ad-libbed so many lines in it.
Yes, but and then that led to him doing so many more voiceovers, which. It's such a shame that he's not around anymore, because you could just listen to that guy perform. Just get an audiobook of Robin Williams performances.
He's just such a natural, and knows exactly what to say when to say it.
Yeah, and I've done studio sessions. I've stood in a box and had 6 people staring at me through a window, and I know how difficult it is. But you just get the impression that guy fed off of that so much, and just can you maybe bring 20 people in here so that I can have more eyes on me so I can just perform. That's kind of what inspires me, that kind of personality inside a booth,
performing directly to the people that are there.
And what a legacy he's left behind as well.
Absolutely.
When you think about how much he had to bounce off of as well, though, in terms of dialogue from other characters, there must not have been much, because most people record it on their own, don't they? So to get a performance like that from just essentially being with like you said, some producers, but not actually talking to anyone or responding to anything, is amazing. So
and I guess his character's a lot bigger than the rest of the characters in that film. Everyone else is quite a calm character, and then the genie has to just kind of be the one that's explosive and crazy, so it must have been hard. But and even for example the live action Aladdin, everyone was like, how are they gonna make the genie as good as Robin Williams? There was that whole thing of how can anyone beat Robin Williams? You can't.
It wasn't even a question of how do they possibly match Aladdin in a live action remake. It was, how do they compete with Robin Williams? Forget the film. How do you
reimagine the genie? How do you reimagine that character?
But doesn't that sort of lends to how it's testament to how good he was? Because, like I said, the genie was Aladdin. He was the focus of the movie. So
I guess that leads quite nicely into your next one, which is James Earl Jones in The Lion King.
Yeah.
The reason I thought of like the link between those is that, you know, they did a live action remake of The Lion King, and they were like, how do we compete with James Earl Jones? And they're like, oh, we don't.
No,
we just use him
again.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't that man just? It's like just listening to caramel being poured over your ear holes.
I love that description.
There's the name of this episode.
He's like the two most famous kind of voices in voiceover. I think like Darth Vader and Mufasa are just kind of the two. Well,
his Darth Vader is brilliant, but the way they modded that. Yes, he did a great performance, but a lot of that is the effect on the voice as well. Whereas Mufasa is just pure James L. Jones. Simba, everywhere the light touches is our home. I
just trust him.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
There's just
first
so
thing
much
in the morning.
to that. Yeah.
Yeah. First thing in the morning, my voice is almost James L. Jones, and I can do a fairly decent
after a night out.
Mufasa. Yeah, or after a night out, yeah. Just I love it, and I just roll over and say, everywhere the light touches. I can't do it now. I've been awake for 6 hours. So
what you do with your dog?
Yeah, no, I say it to Becca. She quite enjoys it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just down the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so the man is just a legend.
Definitely.
He's just
such
one
an
that
important, like remembering so many children's childhoods, I guess, like such a memorable figure.
Yeah. A lot of people sort of are saying our age, like I'm the same age as you guys. Let me just have that for a second. Like
That's
a lot
fine.
of people our age, Aladdin and The Lion King are a huge influence in our lives.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, it's interesting that, Jake, you said it's such an influence on people's lives as kids because, like, we all grew up with The Lion King, but then, like, the generation before us all grew up with Star Wars, so it's like 2 generations worth of like recognisable.
And now with the live action as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah,
that becomes
another
a third
generation.
Incredible.
He's going to be around for forever, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. He will never die.
Such an icon.
If you are listening to this episode after James Earl Jones has died.
I swear to God, if James Earl Jones dies in the next month before we release this episode.
But it's a bit ironic because Darth Vader is dead and Mufasa's dead. But
Spoilies.
Wait, what? Mufasa died?
Sorry. Oh no,
his spirit didn't.
He comes back as a cloud. Sorry, no, he's a cloud.
He's a cloud, and he will live forever as some precipitation.
Yes.
Until it rains, and then he's screwed.
Oh,
and gets
no.
absorbed by the grass and eaten by an antelope. And that is the circle of life.
The circle of life.
That's what The Lion King teaches us.
There you go.
Wow. What did you learn from The Lion King? Well, I learned that when James Earl Jones dies, he will turn into water vapour and precipitation and then rain down on us. Okay. Nice. Right. Interesting.
Yeah. I feel like we're learning. It's educational, this podcast as well.
Yeah. I mean, that's the box we ticked on the category that Apple Music.
No, educational.
It's
really?
Educational, self-help. What else?
We ticked
crime,
every single
thriller,
box.
James
murder
L. Jones.
mystery.
We were like, how can we possibly get as many views as possible, even if it's just for one view, and for them to then go like, nah, it's not for me. So we ticked everything.
Wow.
No, we didn't. I think we're comedy, but like,
Are we?
Well, we're like
that's up for the listeners to decide.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we're people and blogs on stuff like YouTube, and leisure on Podbean or something.
Leisure.
But then
leisure and activity.
Goodness.
Apple Music don't give you an option to be
Are we
like
not business?
Yeah, I was looking for like 3 friends that just want to dick about. That wasn't an option.
That option will be there in 2025, guaranteed.
Yeah,
guaranteed.
John, let's talk about your honourable mention because it's such a good honourable mention.
I love this mention.
You could say
Again.
that it was not good. It was great.
Great. Again, if you look at my Facebook friends list, you'll see that Tom Clark is
up.
the voice of Tony the Tiger back when cartoon characters from serials were allowed to have voices. Because obviously they're not anymore because you're not allowed to encourage children to have sugar.
What?
No
Is that really the
way.
reason?
Yeah,
No.
it's something like that. Yeah, it's
Freaking
over
way.
creating. It's making characters too excitable so that kids then go, oh, I really want to eat Frosties and get high on all the sugars. So,
Well, no one wants a character for bran flakes, do they?
no, exactly.
It's Brian Brian. Hello, everyone.
I'll help you go to the toilet if you eat me.
They're full of fibre.
Keeps you regular. Yeah. They're like, fuck you. It's like, oh. Just want to help
What are you
kids.
doing, Barney Fibre? I'm just getting a newspaper to go and sit on the toilet for half an hour. Oh, yay!
I just want to help kids poo.
And the whole commercial is 30 minutes of him pooing.
And whoever voiced Sim, can we get some strenuous sound effects, please? Yeah, sure.
More pathetic, more pathetic.
There you go.
Done.
Can we
So
ask
then-
Pete to animate this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then that advert of him pooing is another advert for like Diorolite or something, like diarrhea medication. Hey guys, I'm Diarrhea Debbie. And I'm Constipation Kyle. And
I feel
together
like
we
Constipation Carl be really angry because he's trapped.
Oh God, I'm so
The
angry.
veins will be popping out of his head all the time.
Yeah,
John,
I've been here for 4 days. But yeah, so Tom is a really lovely guy. He does a lot of. There's a program that him and his son have done with Danny. What's the guy from Red Dwarf who plays Cat?
I don't know what he's called.
It's Danny something. It's hyphenated.
I know
Something
who
Jones.
you're on about.
Yeah. Well, they all work together on this robot program on Cartoon Network.
Danny John Jules.
Danny John Jules,
it.
that's him. Yeah. So they've worked with him, Taylor and Tom. Taylor's Tom's son, and Tom is just, again, he's just a really nice guy, really chilled, laid back. I was having a dinner in a restaurant one time, and my phone started ringing. I was like, oh, I'm pretty certain that's Tom Clark Hill's number. Lo and behold, it's Tom Clark Hill wanting to talk about our agent. So, he calls me. The guy who played Tony the Tiger just calls me sometimes.
No way.
Just out of
That's
nowhere.
insane.
Yeah.
Do you think
Do
he
you
loved?
ask him to do the Tony the Tiger voice?
Do I what?
Do you ask him to do the Tony the Tiger voice?
I would never ask him to do that. That's
Do it.
no.
Please,
No.
go on, please.
Oh, please.
Do it, Tom. Do the voice. Do the voice. Oh, if there's that little kid in Shrek, do the rah. Do the rah.
I love you.
Do the rah.
Do you think he loved or hated Tiger King?
Oh, I wouldn't like to hazard a guess. He probably loves it. Tom doesn't care. Tom's just, he knows what got him to where he is, and he probably just embraces it. So he'd love
Yeah.
Tiger King. Yeah.
Oh, Carol Baskin killed her husband. So your number one, John,
Yes,
is Andy Serkis. Lord of
How
the
can it
Rings.
not be
How
Andy
can it not?
Serkis?
John, can we confess something to you while we're on this?
Yeah.
Myself and Anna have not seen Lord of the Rings. We watched the first one last night in preparation.
But you wouldn't have heard Andy Serkis because he
He's
kind
barely in
of
it.
he breathes at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does that at the
His
end.
eyes
So
appear,
good.
and then that's
He
it.
said
Yes.
he said Shire and Baggins.
Yeah, that's all.
Battles.
That's so good.
That's the voice.
But
Yeah.
so we watched it last night in prep for you.
Yeah.
I can't believe you've only just watched it now.
I know. It's one of those films that I
Sorry,
feel like
John.
we both.
They're
should
going to
have
watch
seen.
2 and 3.
But I
on
thoroughly
Netflix.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, we should take a moment. Sorry, John, to pause your train of thought, but just to do a public service announcement for Netflix. Netflix have Lord of the Rings 2 and Lord of the Rings 3, but they don't have the first one.
What is wrong with you?
Morons.
Well, it's because everybody's seen The Fellowship, so you don't need to have that on there. So,
right, Tom and Anna?
Yeah. We have now.
We have now.
Amazon Prime have all 3.
So...
good.
But so
amazing.
Yeah, tell us about Gollum.
I've been blown away. And do you know what? It's not just Gollum. He's really, really good in the Planet of the Apes films, the more modern ones, playing Caesar. But he is... I don't feel like he's as versatile as some of the other voice actors that you hear, but just the performance that he gives. Mm-hmm. He's a bit like a Benedict Cumberbatch, and in which he's a fantastic actor, but not so versatile with his voiceovers.
But the depth that he goes into.
Yeah. You just feel the character oozing from him. But I'm sure most of his characters all sound the same, just slightly different tones. And you get that from Andy Serkis. But the performance that he gave as Smeagol and Gollum, I just spoiled the second movie for you, but it's fine.
It's okay.
They won't remember.
I kind of know like most of it anyway.
Oh, okay.
So.
I have no idea, so that's fine.
He's just so talented, and I follow him on Facebook, and I watch some of his stuff, and he's amazing.
Yeah, I remember watching a video of him breaking down his career. And it was so interesting to watch his process of how he got to the different characters that he got to. And again, just kind of the depth that he goes into with the writers and the directors and how they want the character to come across, even to the breaths or the movement of the eyes or just the tiny mannerisms that you don't think about. Even in voice acting, makes such a difference.
Yeah.
See,
and to a degree, I have to do that day to day, but only on a small level. That guy, he's like spending hours and hours on one character.
He was even great in Black Panther, and that's I mean, obviously he's doing a different accent. He's South African, but
South African.
It's less focus on the voice work, I guess, because it's not animation. But he was incredible in that as well. I thought just blown away. Yeah, so great.
He's
Gollum and Smeagol were kind of, I guess, the first, especially when the Lord of the Rings came out. What were they, 2001? Was it 2001 when the first?
I think so. Yeah.
Like that motion capture was not as nowhere near as what it is today. So kind of he was meant to bring about this character in motion capture that no one had seen before, and did it.
Yeah, he revolutionised it.
Yeah, and has taken it on even further, hasn't he? He's like
well, he's got his own company now. Yeah. Good on him. Just if I was to have a man crush on anyone, it would be him. And Hugh Jackman. But I mean, Hugh Jackman isn't well known for his voice acting. But
they look kind of similar.
Roddy St. James in Flushed Away.
Yeah. Anyway,
convincing British accent.
Hey, that film is great.
Okay.
But and he directed a Jungle Book, didn't he? With full-on motion capture.
Mowgli.
Yeah.
Really?
Even, yeah.
Andy Serkis was in that as well. He was Baloo.
Oh!
And he was, you're right. Quite like a scary Baloo almost.
Yeah.
There you go, they're linked.
So he just kind of like really brings voice acting and the importance of it, and he champions for the Academy Awards and like awards ceremonies to really recognise that.
Have you seen the Gollum MTV Movie Awards acceptance speech?
No.
It's so funny. It's he accepts it as Smeagol.
Oh my god!
There's an animation made, and he calls Dobby a effing C word.
Oh my god!
It's so funny. Like, YouTube that when you get a moment.
I need to.
One of the funniest things.
Oh no!
I also completely forgot that. I'm just looking through his IMDb at the moment. I completely forgot he did these. This is how good he is. He was a voice in Flushed Away, of course, along with Hugh Jackman. His voice was Spike, one of the rats.
Oh my god!
He's the bad guy, isn't he? or one of the bad rats.
Oh my
Don't
God.
forget to
Keep your legs straight,
when
Spike.
you hit the water. He was Captain Haddock in Tintin, which
Oh wow!
amazing, and he's also in Star Wars. Like I completely forgot about that he is in Star Wars.
He would, yeah, of course he'd be in Star Wars.
In the new ones.
Yeah, he's Snoke, but I
yes!
completely forgot because he's so good. He's just completely unrecognisable.
Yeah.
Very versatile, isn't he?
Yeah.
Incredibly versatile.
What a legend.
What a legend.
I love it. But there you go. So, yeah, that's my top 5. That's whom I love in the game.
Really good.
Oh, wow.
Whom
Whom?
Who are you? What's that from?
Alice
Alice in Wonderland.
I like how everyone knew that.
Alice in Wonderland.
Who are you?
We're all sad. We're all sad. We all know.
No, we're all mad here.
Mad. That's the one.
Mad.
What did I say?
We're all sad.
Said the other one. But yeah.
Everyone's sad and mad through this.
Mad and sad.
Yeah, that's true. We're all stuck in lockdown with nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go. Where are you going to, John?
Kentucky. La 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 la. I'm going to Kentucky in America one day. One day when my visa is approved.
And why?
And
why are you going there?
because I have a fiance who lives in America. She is from Kentucky. And so we're going to go and get married and have a baby and do all the things.
Yay!
So
and
sweet.
apparently I'm going to be on WKYT News Network as some kind of like news piece presenter. I don't know. Apparently
awesome.
So you've
Yeah.
already got
Welcome
like a
to
bit of a
WKYT.
job out there.
so. Yeah. I did an interview a couple of weeks ago with
That's awesome.
Andrea Walker from WKYT, and she's like, after the interview or through the interview, I can't remember how it happened. She said, "How would you feel about doing a piece on the news network, just like a Brit in the Bluegrass, and just give a British guy's perspective on some of the things that happen in Kentucky?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll do that."
That's a really good
and then
idea.
she was
So
being
cool.
serious, and we've messaged about it since. So
Woo!
That's like, yeah, that would be really cool to, especially at the moment as well, and a new British guy coming over from Britain to America just to kind of have their point of view to Kentuckians, I guess. That sounds really cool.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's going to happen.
While we're on the topic, where do you want to tell the people at home, what you're doing and where we can find you?
So I'm currently doing like a Learning Kentucky series on YouTube where I take different parts of Kentucky. I've been doing the accent. I've been doing different place names. Today's video, which I need to edit and get uploaded in the next hour and 15 minutes, which is going to be a tall order. I'm taking an American civilian test.
Oh, awesome!
trying to see how well I mean, spoiler alert, I did okay, but not great.
They're so difficult though, aren't they?
They are really hard.
Right. Just kind of like preparing myself for my eventual permanent move to America. Hopefully in the next 6 months or so. So that's youtube.com/love Jon Lovell. You can see that on YouTube if you type it in the bar, and there's links probably as well. And an amazing duo called Bear Buddies did a great intro for me on there.
Whoever they are.
I have no idea who they
I
are,
don't
but
know.
they're all right.
They're okay.
Pete and an Asian guy, I think. That's what we say.
Yeah.
So yes.
That is his legal name.
Is it really? Bruce Lee. There you go. That's him. So yeah, you find me on there if you want. Which it's slowly growing. I got remonetized as a creator about a month ago. So yeah, that and through Patreon and different things, it's now turning into a slight money earner, a slight bit of earnings.
Fantastic.
Which is good. So yeah, YouTube. And eventually, when I do get to Kentucky, there'll be obviously what it's like living there and just integrating as a British American, becoming more American.
It's a really unique thing to do. I don't think a lot of other people will have it, and it's really interesting as well to see someone having to change not just home or country, but culture and So,
spellings of words and things.
Yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed the videos you've got up at the moment. So.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah,
thanks.
go and check it out.
I'm enjoying doing them.
Well, thanks for joining us, John. Yeah.
Thank you, John.
so much.
Thanks for letting me be your first.
Boom.
You were very gentle, and
We'll remember it forever.
John, was it okay for you?
I'll be walking funny for a few days, but I mean, other than that, yeah.
I cried a little bit, but you know,
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I'm over it now. It's fine. It's fine.
I mean, everything that we did, you had my 100% consent for.
Good.
So
There was a lot more laughing and talking about voiceover performances than I thought there would be.
really, really,
Yeah.
But that's what it is. I love it.
Exactly. Yeah, I felt like you kind of knew what you were getting into, but that's fine. Jon Lovell, good at oral. There you go. We're talking about voiceovers still.
Of course.
Obviously.
There you go.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks
Thanks for
John.
having me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
And never a chore.
Yeah.
Do we say goodbye or do we wave
I don't
or
know.
what?
We haven't actually sorted this out.
Well, we kind of just fade out at a point when we're saying goodbye. So
we could talk and just our voices get really, really quiet.
Okay.
And did like a fake.
So we'll have a normal conversation and then
Okay.
fade out. But
What
this
did
is
you have
really
for
difficult.
I some Cheerios and some that's it. What about you, Anna?
Well, should we?
I had some
Maybe we
bran
should all
flakes.
say at the same time.
Yeah,
Like,
what did
exactly
we
the
all
same.
have
We all need
breakfast?
to talk at the same
Okay.
time, don't we?
Okay.
Ready? And then we'll fade out, and what I'll do is I'll like.
Or can we say?
play the
Can we
music
sing
over it.
"You're Gonna Love Jon Lovell," but then just go really quiet? Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Wait, what one are we doing?
You're gonna love Jon Lovell, but then we go really quiet.
Okay, so
it'll be like,
just you're gonna love John.
John.
Okay, all right.
So you didn't actually hear the Lovell.
I love
This
it.
is going to be incredibly out of time as well.
It's so weird.
Because
Yep.
everyone's
It's fine.
in different.
Okay.
So cool. Ready?
3, 2, 1.
You're
You're
gonna
gonna
love John.
Oh, we transfer it to you. That's what I use.
Is that on the Nintendo Wii?
Yeah.
on the Wii. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wii transfer.
So
It's
you have
just
to like
a teeny
hold the
tiny transfer.
you hold the nunchucks and you have to wiggle them really fast. So that it transfers over.
If it's a really big file, you've got to go for like 8 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm why are you so sweaty? I just transferred a file. Oh my god.
Someone's like, "Did you have the nunchuck connected?"
Yeah.
Oh, the nunchuck. Oh.
I was doing it one-handed.
And then there's the like the cool kid who like Mr. Business who has the like Wii Remote Motion Plus pack. He's like, "Oh, I can do it in 4 hours."
Or he's got the gun and he's just like trigger firing it.
Yes.